Welcome to the series CyberSec, A Way of Life, brought to you by LnDToday in collaboration with ARCON TechSolutions, a leading cybersecurity company. They are in the leader segment of Gartner's Magic Quadrant for Privileged Access Management and are also recognized as a customer of choice by Gartners. Today, we have Bhanu Singh, who's a senior consultant for business development at Arcon, who's been with the company for more than 5 years now, and he's here to share his insights. Hi Bhanu, how are you doing?
I'm good, Roshan. How are you?
Great, thanks. So Bhanu, you've been with the company for some time. Can you give us a little introduction of about you and what you do at Arcon?
Great. So yeah, I've been here for almost 5 years, and I look after India as a region. 3 years back, I was the one who had actually opened up Sri Lanka and Nepal for our company. So these are the three regions which I look after. India, obviously, it's mostly in South as a region that we are to as of now.
Okay.
And we don't really have for us, it's not really any industry specific segment that we look after. So it is industry agnostic that we are catering to.
Right. So your solutions basically cater to all kind of industries.
Well, privileged access management, like any other cybersecurity solution, it should be for any industry domain. However, the BFSI segment, the banks, they were the first movers in India when it came to privileged access management. Or just the way in US, I think the defense and NASA, they are the first movers of any CyberSec. In India, it's the BFSI segment which moves and which goes ahead and deploys the latest cybersecurity solutions. So in India as well, privileged access management was initially done by the banks, but now it's become very industry agnostic. Even a logistic company would need it. So almost everybody needs this.
Right. I'd actually like to go a little deeper in that, Bhanu. Now you've been in this industry, you're deeply ingrained in it, right? What, according to you, is the state of cybersecurity in India at least?
Well, I think recently there was a report which had come out, and it was a government report which said that India is placed at number 10 across the globe when it came to cybersecurity, and that itself was a very big news for us because I have been in this domain for almost 11 years now.
Right.
And yes, my initial days we were probably not the top 10. We were still early movers. We were still getting into this domain, and India as a region, it was still developing back then.
Right.
But I see now there is a lot of seriousness when it comes to cybersecurity practices. We are still a little reactive, but I see that the shift. I think 10 years back it was more reactive, our cybersecurity practices. But today's world, there are a large chunk of clients which are actually proactive when it comes to cybersecurity practices.
Right. So you think that a lot of people out there are suddenly paying a lot of attention on cybersecurity?
Absolutely, yes.
Right. Any reason for that? Is that because of the COVID or because of work from home?
Well, I would not really say. See, the work from home and the pandemic has also kind of put a little more focus. It has put a little more focus on cybersecurity, since the users are working from home and they're not visible and you don't know what they're doing. Right. That has actually put a little bit impact on cybersecurity as a practice, but I believe that it has been a steady growth for this domain. It has always been a steady growth. Pandemic has probably a little bit added a little more, but it has always been there. People want to secure in India. The government is spending a lot of money, so private has to. In fact, just in the morning, I was talking to one of the banks, and they said that RBI has been after their life like crazy to get their security practices in place. Right. And in fact, I spoke to two banks. One was a mid-sized bank, and the other was a cooperative. Both of them were as serious as anyone. So if those people can be serious, the rest of the private institutions have to be.
Leading from there, Bhanu, Arcon is now the leader in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for Privileged Access Management. How do you feel about it? And is there more pressure in being part of the leaders in the Gartner's MQ?
Well, I really feel glad about it. The day we came to know about this news, I really wanted to put this to the management that there needs to be a big celebration for this. And because we have been waiting for this for a while now, and we became the Gartner leaders this year. However, we have always felt that we were kind of leaders because we were competing with the best of the world, and in India we were beating the best of the world left, right, center. My career, 5 years in Archon, I don't think I have ever been able to. There have been very few instances where I have actually lost with the the Gartner leader in last year or those years. So we always believed that we were there. This time we got the news. What has changed after we became the Gartner leaders is that, well, I don't really have a lot of time now, so I feel like a celebrity because a lot of clients, they want to talk to us and give us the opportunity to talk to them, help them evaluate our solution. So I do feel like a celebrity that we don't really have a lot of time spare. So yeah, a lot of traction seems to this year seems to be a good year, I think.
Right. So that's a good thing. Instead of you going to clients are coming to you.
Exactly. Although that has always been the kind of culture which Archon had. Okay. So the kind of services which we have provided for our clients in the past, most of our new clients are also the clients who have been known us in the past. They probably were ex-employees somewhere and they have used it. So a lot of my new clients are also the ones who have actually used our solution in the past. So that really says that our services and support is so good that they rely on us even when they are moving out from their organization, and they remember us. So right. That kind of face value or market value we do have here in this region at least.
True. Now, apart from the Gartner's Magic Quadrant, Archon is also recognized as a customer choice by Gartner. What kind of feedback are you receiving from your current customers, prospects, or partners from this recognition?
Well, I think the answer to this question was the answer to my previous question as well. That our clients, they refer us. If one client is, say, for example, in an XYZ bank, he leaves and goes to another bank, he remembers that and he will call us that I've used your solution and I want to put this solution here as well. So we have happy customers. We have always had very good, happy customers who will trust us. They have used it in our past and they will blindly go ahead and use it again. Right. So, customer choice was only because our clients were very happy with us.
True. Now, Bhanu, because of all of this, Archon has made a remarkable growth journey over the last few quarters. Mm-hmm. How's been your experience being a part of this journey?
Well, for me as well, we have been, I think Archon and me, we have been growing parallelly. True. Yes. So for me as well, I have grown here. Last year was very good in spite of the pandemic. I think last year in the month of March, when all of this happened, mm-hmm. and we were kind of shell shocked that and nobody was certain of the future. Right. Back then, it looked very grim in March. I think most of us were thinking, what will happen to this? It looked like a very sad state of affairs, which is going to be for the next 1 year, 2 years. We were very uncertain. Right. But say March this year, we realized that we did phenomenally well. In spite of all of that, we did well. I did well. So yes, Archon did well even last year when In fact, there were times when I used to feel guilty that there is so much of gloom everywhere, and how come we are doing so well?
That must have come as a total surprise for you, is it?
Yes. When we actually ended up doing well, it came as a surprise that yes, we did well. But I think the credit goes to the management and the board members who have really focused on some of the the back end, which I really don't know. I'm sure they focus a lot on some activities which should have been done in the past as well. So because of that, we got the result. Yes.
Right. The very fact that Archon has got these recognitions, it means that there's a lot of team effort that has gone in. Everybody playing their role to the best, to the fullest, and that's what's got Archon here, I believe. Right?
Yeah. And the other thing which we did since last year was that we already had a privileged access management tool, and we have been one of the best in the world. We launched few other good products as well. which had been in the pipeline, but we were able to kind of roll them out. We now have a user behavioral analytics, endpoint privilege management, and then identity space. We are getting into a single sign-on for business applications. All of that has been happening. So
a question there, Bhanu, how are these products which you introduced recently, how are they faring in the market?
Well, fortunately for us, our own existing clients, they have always had such good trust on us. Right. So at least for them, it has become easier. That they all, in a way, they were the ones who were pushing us to get into this product, because they said, you already have a privileged access management. Why don't you give me something on the identity space as well for my business users and other users? So, for us,
you already had the demand before you got the product out.
Exactly. So, I mean, we already had the demand, right? They are the low-hanging fruits, very low-hanging fruits. So, yes.
Excellent. Bhanu, another important fact here is that you interact with a lot of decision makers, right? Who are in the role of CIOs or CTOs or CISOs. Because you've been interacting with them, how do you perceive their roles are changing over the next few quarters or years?
How their roles are changing? I certainly believe that. I mean, I think I have discussed this in this interview itself in the beginning, that I think most of these people, they have become more proactive now.
Okay.
So there was a time when there used to be some attack, and then they used to take action a few years back. Right. That after some incident happens, then they started moving on something. But these days, the CIOs and CISOs, they have a plan in mind. They have not just 1 yearly plan. They have a 3 years or 5 years plan too. That this is what you are going to do this year, Q1, Q2, Q3, and next year this is the plan. So I have been interacting with some of my clients who have told me 1.5 years back that I will get back to you after 1.5 years, and I'll do that, and that has happened. So they have such a long-term plan that they know what is going to happen in what quarter. So I think today's world, the CISO and CIOs are more equipped. I mean, they are not reactive. They have a plan in mind, and they are really very well executing it as well.
So from being reactive to becoming preemptive, that is the flavor.
Yes.
In these roles.
Right.
Now, with work from home becoming a norm, right? Cybersecurity is, of course, a top concern. What kind of tools or products do you think are a must for any organization to have to protect its data?
Well, we need to firstly have a visibility over what is happening on the endpoints. So since the people are working from home, we need to know that what kind of applications they have access to and what is the activity which they are performing. There has to be, although it should not be very restrictive, that people should be able to do their jobs as well, but we need to ensure that they are only doing what they are supposed to do. So there has to be application whitelisting and all of that. We need to ensure that they are doing only what as a company we have asked them to do, and they can use their personal laptop for other things, but for the company devices, only those applications which are supposed to be accessed should be accessed. And the other most important point here is that the turnaround time when they have to seek a support from their help desk team, that has to be reduced. Because since we are working from home, there'll be definitely some issues which will come up, for which we need admin rights or things like that. That has to be reduced. So when I call my help desk engineer, he has to make me wait, or I have to wait for him. That's productivity loss as well. So we need to ensure that that doesn't happen. People are able to solve their problems themselves, and the dependency on that help desk engineer reduces a lot. So I think these are two important factors which I can think of.
Right. And are these within the purview of Arcon's products?
Well, yes. So if we talk about our endpoint privilege management, or if we talk about our user behavioral analytics, or privilege access management too. So we anyway had a privilege identity management, and in March, when all of this happened and people started working from home, a lot of our existing clients, they bought additional licenses because they wanted to extend the number of users. They wanted to give this to more users who would be, because the ones who were using PAM, they could simply go through a secure channel and access their devices. But since everybody was working from home, they bought additional licenses. A lot of our clients bought additional users and device licenses. PAM was one. Then UBA is definitely, it's tailor made for a work from home situation, user behavioral analytics, where we give you a productivity kind of a thing, which might be necessary, not necessary for some clients. There are some clients who say that we want something of that sort, where you get a productivity report of what time the user logs in, logs out, and all of that. A visibility over the whole work schedule of an employee. So that might be important for some clients, but yes, it's there. And most important is that reducing the time duration of that help desk engineer and ensuring that you don't have to go back to the help desk engineer all the time. So people should be able to self-service themselves and reset the password and all of that. So that needs to be automated. So I don't have to rely on my help desk engineer for every small issue. Plus, there should be security as well, that it has to be secured.
Right. Now, Bhanu, earlier on, you mentioned that your products are industry agnostic. I also wanted to ask you that do you think your products would change or your offerings would change when geographies change? So, for example, if you're offering your services to Australia or maybe America or some other country, do you think anything changes from that perspective, from a cultural fit perspective?
Well, it does. I mean, I would not want to name regions, because what I believe is that every region has its own security maturedness. Some region is more matured, some is less. Right. So I would not like to name regions here, but there are regions where we are still at the very basic level. Like what we were, India, what we were, say 5 years back, they are still there. Okay. So for them to come to our stage, it will take time. Probably Australia is a little ahead from us, or maybe US was already ahead from us in terms of cybersecurity practices.
So does that mean that you have to bring in changes in your products when you offer to these regions?
I don't think we need to bring any changes to the product for these regions. I'm not very sure about that.
So in my sense, it's industry agnostic as well as region agnostic.
Yes. The product doesn't need any change if it has to move to some other region.
Okay, great. Well, Bhanu, thank you so much for your time. It was a great conversation that we had with you right now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much.